The Bone Hunter's Curse. The legend of the Bone Hunter had been whispered in the village for generations, a chilling tale passed down in hushed tones. It was said he was once a hunter who outwitted death and prolonged his life, at the price of eternal damnation in the dark woods, forever hunting for fresh bones to replace his decaying ones. His prey was anyone foolish, or brave, enough to venture too far into the forest at night. One cold October evening, a group of friends decided to challenge the Bone Hunter themselves. Young and bold, they felt a thrill of fear tingling down their spines. Tom, their leader, led the way, his flashlight casting a weak glow through the dense foliage. Alongside him walked Sarah, Sam, and timid Mia, who glanced around warily. Despite the chill, the forest seemed to breathe. It was as if the woods were watching their every step. "What if the legend is true?" Mia finally whispered, her voice barely reaching the others over the rustling leaves. Tom laughed quietly. "It's just a scary story. There's no Bone Hunter. They made it up to keep people from going in too far." But the deeper they ventured, the more it felt like an ordinary walk had turned into something else. A thick fog suddenly settled over the ground, making it hard to see. Then they saw it. A hut hidden among thick trees and blanketed with moss, its roof half collapsed and the walls made of ancient decaying wood. A sour, faintly sweet smell rose, like damp leaves mixed with something else. "This must be it," Tom whispered excitedly, stepping forward. The others followed hesitantly, feeling an unnatural chill seeping through the cracks of the door. Inside, it was silent. A silence that felt almost alive. Their flashlights flickered, revealing walls covered in chains from which bleached bones dangled. Some were polished, others yellowed and crumbling. In one corner, Sam stumbled over a pile and bones clattered to the floor. But before he could steady himself, they heard it. The first sound. A faint, scraping noise, like something heavy dragging along the floor. "That's not—" Sarah began, but she stopped as the scraping grew louder, moving closer. Then they saw him. Out of the shadows emerged a figure, ghostly and skeletal, a body pieced together from a grotesque mosaic of bones and decaying flesh. His eye sockets were empty, yet he seemed to see them all, his bony fingers gripping a long, rusty chain with a massive bone swinging from its end. We have to get out!" Mia shrieked, and in a panic they bolted from the hut. They ran and ran, but the shadows seemed alive, disorienting them. Every direction felt the same, and with each step the forest grew thicker, branches clawing at them like greedy hands. Suddenly, Sam stumbled and fell. As he tried to get up, he looked back into the fog. The Bone Hunter was just behind them. Tom grabbed Sam, pulling him up, but then they heard a chilling sound, the clinking of chains, the rattling of bones. The shadows seemed to shift before their eyes, closing in as the Bone Hunter drew nearer. Finally, they reached a clearing, but instead of safety, they found only an eerie stillness. The Bone Hunter stood at the edge of the clearing, silent, watching. It was as though the forest itself had led them into a trap. The four friends stood, panting, terrified. The Bone Hunter raised his hand and an icy cold surrounded their bodies, freezing them in place. Tom felt the world blur around him and heard the dull echo of a voice whispering to him, "Your place is now with me." The next morning, there was no trace of them. But on the clearing, a strange artifact hung from a branch, a new bone pendant, their names etched into it, a silent warning to those who ventured too far into the woods in search of the Bone Hunter. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to this channel, leave a like, and drop a comment.